What's the name of the show? Fairweather kind of.
What was the Muppets guy? Like when the kid died? Who was the old guy?
Oh, Mr.
When he
Hooper?
died? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Hooper gets an
I
abortion.
remember that. That's tough.
Yeah.
For Big Bird.
Yeah, they need to do a Mrs. Hooper loses the child because she can't afford it after Mr. Hooper dies and she has to sell the house. They should do that episode also.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're already just going that Mr. Hooper's dead, it's like, what about his family? What happened to them? Or was he supposed to be a janitor or some shit? I can't remember. Was he a janitor?
I remember. I'm trying to picture Mr. Hooper.
No, Mr. Hooper. He ran the store on the corner. He like had the green apron, glasses, white hair.
Oh yes.
Oh, on Sesame Street.
Yeah. Yes.
You said Muppets, and it threw me off. And I'm going.
Oh, they were Muppets.
Oh, sorry, my bad, not Muppets. Yeah. So it's all the same, like garbage, isn't it?
Sesame
Street.
Street.
He was like the shopkeeper cool. And the like a fixture of the neighborhood and stuff.
No, I like them both actually. Muppets and Sesame Street. They both serve their purpose. Sesame Street's great. Muppets are great and funny and kind of snarky.
Yeah.
I always liked the Electric Company myself. It was like cool and street a little bit. So.
I never watched it, but I think that was past my time. Like, I think I got into the age of lazy cartoons. Like the 90s, that lazy cartoons that were just like, just get your kid to shut the fuck up. Like, you don't want them to get your attention. Because like, when I even like see like old, like your kids like shows growing up, I was like, oh, they fucked up because there's some cool shit in here. And you're like, Mom, fucking check out this thing on the TV. But like, looking at my stuff, I don't want my mom to the Wild Thornberries. I'm like, hey, Mom, there's a British guy talking. Why would I want anyone to see that? Why would I want anyone to see that? Especially my mom. Like the one that I want her any attention from. I'm just like,
wait. Have you been like gaslighting your mother her whole life and making her not see, like make believe that British people are fake, like fairy tale, like they're not real? Like, are you gonna blow the lid off on her discovering that British people are real?
Oh yeah, no, I almost lost my cover because she kept asking questions about Brexit, and I was just like, it's just like this European breakfast.
Who are the Beatles? Oh, gross, Mom. Bugs, grow up.
What are you doing? It's not a real thing. Ew, they're roaches, bro. Get out of here.
You're just jealous, Mom.
Now put on some Skinner and enjoy what real music is.
Mom, this is Jethro Tull.
Mom, this is Tull. I remember, did your parents have a rock song that they weren't supposed to have? The only reason I asked this question is because like my mom listened. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like they listened to a rock song that like was not in their generation, but they relate to it so hard and they love it so hard. And you're like, that, like, you're 40. You don't get that anymore. Like, you don't get to listen to this song and relate to me, a 20-year-old. You know, like, did you ever have that? Because my mom. What? So my mom, hers was "Can't Stop" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I don't know why, but every time it came on, my mom like got super like not emotional, but super like focused and very. You could tell she got goosebumps and like it just hit her senses, and I always got very frustrated because I was like, you don't get them. That's me. You get the Beatles and you get fucking Foreigner and you get all
fair. That's going to keep everybody just locked in a nostalgia loop.
You're just putting everybody in a tidy little package, man.
You should grow and learn to appreciate, British people are real. I mean, why are you keeping her in a box? Like eventually she's going to.
I keep her in a box because she needs to be in the box. This fucking idiot, like, I will say this about my mom, and I love this about her. She's getting a little too adventurous, but she likes her shit. Like, she likes her shit. Like, if it was up to her, CDs and 8-tracks and cassettes would be all we listen to. Like, she doesn't, like fucking Spotify And it confuses her, and I'm like, let's keep it that way. Like I don't want you to get any knowledge on this whatsoever because I don't want that. I don't want to have to give you this knowledge. And she's good with her shit. Like my mom still writes checks, and that like blows my mind to this day because you're like, you can set this up with way easier, and she's willing to spend the $40 fucking it is for extra checks.
Mm-hmm.
She's not writing, and it's not like you're writing a check to the landlord. She's like, they paid the house off. She's writing checks for groceries. Like she's giving Hy-Vee a fucking check for $42. Like I'm like, lady, you like. But she
I would feel like an asshole just asking if a place even takes a check anymore.
She tried to do that shit. This bitch tried to do this shit at Olive Garden 3 years ago. She was like, "Can I write a check?" And the lady just like looked at her and was like, "What do you do? What?"
At a restaurant?
Like she also didn't know like how that worked.
Can I pay you a week and a half from now for this food I just ate?
Right?
Yeah.
I'll tip you good. Like, what does that fucking do?
Wait, what should you do for a tip? Leave a cashier's check?
She had to go get it notarized, write a check for that fee. All right. So quick catch up. So we had Halloween. So because the way we film these, it's like usually like we got a 2 week in the bank, right? So when you're eventually seeing this, maybe by that time we'll know who the president is. You know, Halloween just happened on a Saturday. I don't know. I had a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm.
How was your Halloweens?
I had the flu, but I watched a movie and it was cool.
What movie?
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh yeah.
Which it's one of those movies that's like it's more aesthetic than story, like Dream Logic.
It's I tried to watch that several times, but it's like you have to enjoy it on the flu because you can't sleep because it always puts me to sleep.
Yeah, if I had not been on a tremendous amount of flu medicine, oh my gosh. I mean, there's an old school freak out scene in the movie with like melting skulls. And it worked on me so hard. Like I can see where a person would be bored by the movie, maybe if you're not on drugs. But oh man, it worked on me. So I went back and watched it again, sober the next morning. Just as good. Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Yeah. What is this?
He's the director. Did you guys see Mandy?
Yes.
I have not. It's
same
not
director.
free on streaming yet. So
yeah, same director. So
#poverty tips. Yeah, that's got Nicolas Cage in it. Am I right?
Yeah, it's great. It's so.
That's ratcheting up the quality right there, if you ask me.
And he goes wild with his choices. Yeah.
There's a scene where he just literally I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a scene where he's just sitting on the toilet in his underwear. And, he's just is so calm, and then he just transforms into this mad. It's just the most I love him as an actor. I know a lot of people say that he's overacted. It's he overacts, but I think it's fucking great. I still enjoy him. And not even in an ironic way. I still like him as an actor. And it's so
100%.
I mean, he still has a Leaving Las Vegas in him, or I can't think of any other serious roles he's done.
Turn that on, but he's so bored with it that he just goes weird, and that's what entertains him.
It's like he's the Kanye West of acting.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
It's 51% of it is for himself.
Yeah.
And that 1% makes all the difference. So we think he's an asshole from the outside. But
have you guys seen Deadfall from the 90s? That's the one where he has a mustache and a fake big nose on top of his big nose.
Oh,
almost
really? I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it. Yeah,
almost he looks like a skinny Tony Clifton. And it's just oh my, it's nuts. His performance is nuts. And spoiler alert, he's only in it for the first 30 minutes, and that's all you need to watch. The rest is kind of a boring Michael Bain, crime, indie 90s, that vibe, right? Movie.
I love you say Michael Bain, and I know exactly everything you're talking about.
Yeah. But the first 30 minutes, dude. Anyway, good choice.
Yeah, because I used to do a bar trivia game at a movie theater, so it was movie themed. Yeah. And one of my favorite categories to do would be I would play a clip from a Nicolas Cage movie where he's just going ape shit. It might be audio, it might be video, who knows? And you have to name the movie. But I mean, no shortage of these. I mean, there had to be 30, 40 of these fuckers floating around on
Kiss
YouTube.
of Death.
Mhm.
Vampire's Kiss.
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans is a great one. That's got like 3 or 4 great freak out scenes.
Wicker Man, of course. That's kind of like
a good one. But yeah, Brennan, what did you do for Halloween? I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. Literally, all we did was we went and got a bag of candy because we didn't know if we were gonna have trick or treaters.
New neighborhood. You just moved in. Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, you aren't established yet. So
0 people showed up. It was like it was awesome. It was great.
What was the deal in LA? Like it was canceled and then not canceled, or what was the deal?
Yeah.
Like
so this was like they weirdly did this like 2 months ago. I don't know why they did, but I think they were given kind of a preemptive strike. But they sent out like mass text. Like they did that with like during like when the riot, like the George Floyd stuff was happening. Like they'd be like lockdown effective, da 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 da, and then like they did that where it's just like Halloween this year is canceled, or trick or treaters are not allowed or not prohibited, whatever it is, and it's like what? Like you can't like
that's nuts. Yeah,
makes sense.
On a Saturday.
But then also, like, then they did 4 hours later, the same day, they let us send out another text being like, it's no longer prohibited. It's just, it's just suggested not to. And I just thought, like, no one was going to fucking do anything. And then it turns out, like, on Instagram, like, everyone was just having parties in, like, Los Angeles and, like, on the Hollywood Hills and shit like that. And you're like, oh, I guess
I'm not surprised.
I'm just boring. But yeah, we just made a pizza and watched. What was that? What was that shitty movie? I guess it was shitty. Have you seen Ready or Not? It's on Netflix. It's basically kind of one of those like one person gets hunted movies by a group of people she wasn't expecting, and then like it's now the hunting becomes the hunter kind of thing.
A horror or thriller or
it's like a black horror, yeah. But like it wasn't bad, but like that's all we did. It was nice. And honestly, like I do. My biggest fear was just like opening doors and just being like, oh, can you get away? Like I don't know. It's hard, but like no one showed up. It was awesome. So yeah, no, it was. We didn't do shit. We didn't do dick, and yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm glad it was still a fun thing for you, especially like, it to me that describes a perfect Halloween. Maybe have a few folks over, something like that. I don't know, but that's low energy and that's out. That sounds awesome. Like you shouldn't need more than that.
No, absolutely.
But I'm like 70 years old too.
We were gonna dress up, but then I was just like, I'm not dressing up for you. Like I'm not giving you this. Like,
I had a fantastic Halloween. It was actually super dope because I was like this year we didn't really like decorate. Usually like we're the house in our like cul-de-sac, like our whole lives. Like so usually we have like my daughter's friends come over, which I'm friends with the mom and all of that, and we hang.
Yeah. Halloween's is going to be different for you because you have kids.
They were coming over, but wifey was freaking out. COVID. Like we were like, okay, we're going to be outside, like in the garage, like distance, like just flipping out. I'm like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
The kids show up and they're having a blast, and then like her guards start to go down. I'm like, see, it's a kind of a trade off. It's like, we're smart about it, but it's like, okay, it's a minimal risk, but like, look how happy they are. Like they needed to hang out.
Yeah.
Because they've been cooped up all like, and my daughter's in middle school. Could you imagine middle school right now this year? Fuck that.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Because
middle school is also those prime years, especially for like, how old is she again? 12 or 13?
She'll be 13, yeah.
So that's like those prime, like that's your last kid years. Like you have to start getting a job soon.
Yeah, it was hard. Like they usually go like around, like we go around and trick or treat just around our little neighborhood, and it's enough for the night. We get like a whole bag, and we're good. Their whole lives since they were babies and diapers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then like this night, it was just kind of bittersweet because we're like, can we go for a walk? And like left me out. You know what I mean? I was just like, of course, I'm not going to be that dick. Like, no, I'm going to go with you. It's tradition. But I was like, you need this. You go hang out. But it was kind of like, it was like, I'm happy, but sad at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's, man. Well, I mean,
you knew it was
that
coming.
moment.
Yeah, you knew it was coming, but it's a sweet, honestly, it's a sweet moment. Like, I'm glad you had that reaction instead of like, she's like, can I go for a walk? You're like, fucking, finally, you fucking nerd. Like, why you have to hang out with dad? Like, it's very sweet. And like, I'm looking forward to doing that with my children. But yeah, that sounds like a great Halloween. That sounds like a fantastic Halloween.
Yeah.
You get some ass?
No.
You didn't fuck in the costumes? Then like, why'd you have a Halloween?
I know.
Dude, I'm
because
like,
of all the kids. It's just like, nah, man, no more. We're done. So like, it was going pretty steady, like 7 p.m., something like that. And we're running out. So wife made these bags with like 6 or 7 candies in them each. Yeah. So like you just take one and you get like a good 8 solid different variety chocolate stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. But we ran out of that. And then we saw around the corner, literally a swarm, like in Walking Dead, like swarm, like of 20, 30 kids, all like knee high coming around the cul-de-sac to our house. And we're like, fuck, we're out of candy. We had to run upstairs.
Give them ramen.
Yeah,
fire sauce. And
like they were coming up and I had what I would only describe as retail anxiety. Like you don't have the keys yet and you're standing like looking at 30 angry people like at you. You're like, hold on, boss is coming. Like that was the feeling I had. And then finally she came and I was just like, oh man, this is awesome. Okay, whatever, take bye. But there was one little bitch, this little fucking like 3-year-old in the flamingo costume, just totally like broke out of the group. Good for her. But she came up with hardcore, like, let me talk to your manager vibes. Like, up to like, where's the, like, like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like,
like, I respect the balls.
My father-in-law was there and we had a Larry David moment. So he's of that age. Right. And so he's sitting there and he is livid about that, manager Karen bitch taking more than one.
I can hear the music in my head.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, look at this. She's got 3 so far. She's going in for the, can you believe this? What? That's 6 pieces. And honestly, I don't care. Yeah. Because whatever. I'm happy. Bunch of kids happy eating candy. I don't give a shit. I don't know this kid. And there's 30 of them. I can't kick the ass of like 34 to 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
7 maybe. Like how many do you think you get through before it was a problem?
Well, like how dense are they? Like are they shoulder to shoulder, like a herd of them? Because then you just hit the first few and they all go down.
No, it was a swarm. It was
oh yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
It was 300, going into the.
I have a low center of gravity, so I'm just plowing through.
Yeah, Dan can just juggernaut them. Like, he's just
juggernaut, bitch.
Okay, so out of 30 children, how many do you think you knock down in like one good?
I think Dan could get.
Would it be a 7-10 split kind of situation? Probably.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, I'd be opening myself up for flanking on both sides.
Yeah.
Like unless I got a broom handle that I can totally just, clothesline a good 5 feet across.
Just spinning a bow staff like.
Not gonna.
Okay, so it could have been that. I honestly just by like beefy punches or like fake karate because I saw a Brandon Lee movie. I
bet it'd be good for about a half a dozen solid knockdowns.
But see, I'm not boxer trained. I would wear myself out. That's why boxing's so fascinating. You think it's kind of boring, but I'm like, no. You know how hard that is to even do like one round, and they're in the 12th.
Like I did that class at the gym exactly twice. Yeah. And so like I know the mechanics of like fist to shoulder and that's it. Like I'm not going to throw it out, but I'm going to get tired and it's not going to be 100%. Like effective.
We don't know how to punch.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brandon? What would be your move? 30 children all
honestly like the only thing
waist high 30 of them.
That's already
like I feel like if we were a D&D party, that Brennan is our archer or our elf. He's got the speed, he's got the motion.
He'd be chucking rocks from like behind a bush.
Yeah. He's got the ranged weapons.
Yeah. I would also do that, or I'd go like I would just barrel roll try to like, I'll just like get to like, if I get low enough for them, I can just like start crushing them. But like, I feel like I don't
Sonic situation. Yeah.
But I feel like it would start to get to a point where like the treads just spinning. So like I'm just rolling on one kid after a while, and
then you leave yourself exposed because you would stop in a fetal position under their little keds, just keds and probing, just smashing. Yeah.
I probably go like 4 or 5, but then like I feel like I'd be taken down by then. If I'm not running and just kind of like trying to out juke them and then getting distance for attacks, like I'd be done. Like I would not last long. So no.
Yeah.
So follow-up question, like what age are we talking about here now?
Between 4 to 6, I would guess.
4 to 6. Okay, so there
was
still
a
like
couple
handheld
parents
size.
kind of sprinkled in there, but they were almost the same height, so it was kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, so but like they're like under 50 pounds and like under 3 feet tall though, right?
No, I mean, like a 6-year-old's like can be like 60, 70 pounds. I mean,
because the reason I'm asking is like, what's the over under on if I can grab one by the ankle and swing it around and knock the other ones around with it?
Oh, that's a high probability. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Probably
that's my move.
Yeah.
That's
you can make
100%
like kid chucks. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Just grabbing two girls by their tails and just rolling around.
Yeah, just create a radius for myself using that one kid. Yeah. Intro.
Or you could do a mosh kind of situation. Just go overhead with an elbow drop back to them and kind of clear out and leave enough spread.
I mean, I feel like maybe it's just me. I feel like that you're not landing on your feet, or at least you open yourself up to get knocked down and swarmed. You know, if you do an elbow drop.
Yeah, I think either way you're going to get swarmed.
Yeah.
But luckily I had the candy and I did not get swarmed.
Good.
Yeah, that's.
And then Larry David and Law was upset about the girl. She took 6 pieces. I didn't care. But then after the kids came back, and I was
how old is this guy, by the way? Like the guy, like the
in-law? He's an AARP member. He's in his he's like 66, 67.
And the girl was 3? The flamingo girl was 3?
Mm-hmm. 3, maybe 4. She walked right up to us like, what the fuck, guys? And he was
AARP.
He was so
I get it because like I want to be mad too.
Like, she's not following the rules.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's Halloween. This whole year, there's no rules.
Yeah.
Here's the rule. Fun.
Jason, there are policies and procedures, and we must adhere by them.
Yeah.
This isn't Vietnam. There are rules.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
And so when the kids came back.
Although I'm not totally against it that like, you know, if you're putting 8 pieces of candy in a bag, I mean, that could potentially be 8 times as much candy if you're a bit thriftier on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, she's honestly, she's a socialist. She's getting it for everyone. She's going to distribute it well or something. I don't know. Or she's just some asshole kid. Fuck her. You know what? Your father-in-law's right. Let's go beat her little ass. Let's go to her and say, hey, we want to do an experiment and see how many times we can punch you before you die.
I wasn't going there. I was just victim blaming, but I mean, yeah.
You saw
We're going on a ride. Let's go for a ride.
Then, but today we're filming this the day after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nobody knows what's going on. Maybe by this time you guys know what's going on in 2 weeks, but So we should get it off our chest. Like, how are you guys feeling about it? Like, are you just done?
Yeah. So as of this very moment right now that we're recording this, whatever this means to you, Joe Biden has 264 delegates to Donald Trump has 214. And there's states of Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, and Alaska left to be determined. Basically, from like what I've been hearing, is it looks like Biden's going to win, and like as it's turning to be, like Biden's going to win. But I'm just at a point I'm just done with all of it, and like it's just frustrating. Like this is one of the most like frustrating things is like even though Donald Trump won last year, I'm glad that we had one night of it. Like we found out he was going to be the dude. Like the next day we woke up.
It wasn't stretched out this long thing. Well, my first voting experience was the Bush recount shit, Bush Gore shit.
Oh,
and that was mine too.
Yeah, so I lived through that, and I was like, oh, this is how this works.
It's just stupid, and like the worst part is like we're not going to know what's going to happen until this is released. Like this episode's released, which is like that's the most frustrating thing about it because like I'm just going to hear nonstop bantering from like every person about like voting. All around voting sucks. Voting's stupid, and like
no, voting's not stupid. I think the way
we have it is stupid.
It's hard to place my confidence in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's the angle.
But.
And you look at the shit, like the legislation they passed to like limit black voters and all of this, like there's cheating and like very crystal clear cheating going on, visible proof of cheating.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. like so blatant. Like I would, it's so blatant that it would make me think that someone is testing us to see if we'll respond. It's like I'm not touching you of politics. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, it's literally that, like, that, what are you going to do about it? Because, like, the answer is, like, all we can do is nothing. And, like,
the bully is saying to us, hit me, pussy, hit me.
Do you guys think that if Biden wins, Louis C.K. can come back doing comedy again? Do you think that, like, and, like, this is an honest question because this is something I would think. If Biden wins, what is the probability of, I guess, I'm not saying that it's going to go away, and I hope it doesn't, but what is the probability, do you think, with the Black Lives Matter movement, the Me Too movement, those kind of like the LGBTQ movement decreasing?
The social
movements decreasing, because like, I hope they don't. I love the messages, and I just want to spell that out, and just because I don't want it to be taken out of context.
It goes in waves. When it stops being like quote unquote popular or get you brownie points. Mm-hmm. So there, like most of that stuff, unfortunately, there's the noise is generated by slacktivism, of like doing a couple hashtags and shit, but not really doing anything or changing your behavior. Just getting likes. So it's sexy for a while, but there's legit real people in each of these movements actually moving it forward, right?
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. So like the slacktivism, like, yeah, it does create awareness to hopefully generate more of those people that actually do shit. But I don't know.
Well, like to me, it's like, the groups have to say, look at me, hey, attention on me. And it gets to a point where, we wait to give them that attention until it's an emergency or until it's a protest or a riot. And then finally they get our attention, like right now, and like times like 4 years ago and times past. And then what? It's like, okay, look at me. Okay, we're looking at you now. What?
Yeah.
And then, just kind of peters out, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's like nobody considers the end game.
Right.
Because like, I my only like thing about it is just like, and this is why this election is so annoying to me, is like, it's not even about that Donald Trump is a racist or he's a sexist or whatever it is. Like, it's just that he won. Like that, and that I feel like if Biden wins, which by the way, he also has been accused of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. And he also was part of the Obama administration that started a shit show in Yemen. And he also basically, what was it? I just lost it for a second. Mm. But
he's got dirt.
Yeah. He was also one of the people that signed in like that kids be detained and put into cages. Mm. I just really think we're going to just forget about all this because their team won. And then essentially now it's going to be the flip side of just like, we had to hear 4 years of people saying how Donald Trump was just this devil, sexist, racist person. And now we just have to go back to this other side of just being like, oh, this guy who's like the same thing, he's not. You're just gay and a hater. Like I just, that's just the most frustrating thing about this, is because like, I don't want Donald Trump to win, but like I at least enjoy that someone is getting their comeuppance and they're getting that criticism that they should. It's like someone of power. But like this, because this guy has a black lady running with him, like he's scot-free. And that's just fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. And like, that's just...
No, it's cynical. It's very cynical. It's insulting to people's intelligence. But if you look at the voter base, that's really makes a lot of the noise, the slacktivists. Mm-hmm. It's the same. It goes up to the horse race. It's always been this way, though. That's the dumb thing, is everybody's up in arms. Like, yes, there's things to be passionate about. Honestly, I think Black Lives Matter should be in the front of the line, because it should have been how many hundreds of years ago, right? I mean, yes.
It should
all the years ago.
All the years ago. Because like a majority of the problems you can like of in our country now, you could go back to that. And let's just, let's anyway.
Yeah.
The phoniness of it is just like, that's just like what
the phone. Yeah. It's a show. It's a fucking, it's entertainment.
It's all this vote for, like, do your part and vote. And it's like, what is this? But the second that's going to
I mean, I agree with that. You want to do that.
But my issue is not that, like, to do your part and vote, but my issue is like the people who are like, you don't vote, you're a no vote for blah, blah, blah. Or if you don't vote, you're voting for Donald Trump, basically, is like what they kind of say it.
I hate that.
True. But like, I get it. I understand what they're trying to say. They're basically saying like, vote, like,
you can't bitch unless you vote. Like, you got to participate. Like, just show up. Like, it's a.
But when it comes to issues like what next year, when we have or in 2 years when we have issues with the state that like actually matters for people who are like surrounding them.
100%. That's where most of your actual things you can have tangible effects on is your local shit.
Because their team won.
The horse race between the two, it's ideologies and it's driving markets. That's what it all boils down to. It's driving consumer markets either way and shifting. It's all money driven, both sides. Yeah. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but anyhow. Hashtag.
The best I've ever heard it described is it's kayfabe, like wrestling. They fight on stage and then they go backstage and high five. And then they're both, eating moons over Miami at Denny's on the bus on the way to the next city.
Yeah, for sure.
But then they're just going to fight out on stage again.
Yeah, they're just doing
a show.
So Nancy Pelosi just patting, Trump on the butt in the shower room, just like all the others are.
And that's probably the most disgusting thing about it too. Is just like, I hate that
co-ed showers. I know.
Yeah, co-ed. Oh god.
God, could you imagine that gross, just weird, pasty
showers?
White, yeah. Okay, imagine that chick in The Shining in the bathtub, right? But maybe a little less lesion-y. But that same type of but maybe that same type of hue and viscosity.
Mm-hmm. Man,
yeah, like if you had some ham left over from Thanksgiving, and like you left it in the fridge uncovered, the next morning that texture,
a little slimy.
Mm-hmm.
All of those people, Mitch McConnell with his black hands because of bruising and whatever. Because he's a corpse. Because he's melting because he's a fucking zombie.
Because after death, the blood will just fall to the lowest point.
Yeah, he shits his pants constantly and he's a fucking zombie. What is nobody? He's patient zero, okay?
Oh.
Yeah.
It voted him back in because you're like, I don't know, so let's roll the dice on that.
It is always funny.
I recognize his name.
People bring this up all the time too. And it's always people who like older people, like who are in their 60s, they bring this up when they're like, oh, Bernie shouldn't have run, or Biden. Like, they're like, oh, they're too old to be in office. And I'm like, you're 60. You're also a fall away from 4 months off.
No,
Like, if you really want young, let's get young. Let's get someone who literally just turned 35. They have their bachelor's, their BSA. Yeah. And let's get
We'll
them
eventually get there, but just not this go around, because here's why. Medicare age, like that retirees, like the population is huge, the boomers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's who has all of the wealth that can be tapped right now. It's a way to tap into that market and drive more wealth out of their pockets and into,
Okay, so it makes sense we've got them where we've got them then.
Yeah. And so the bots, the new internet, the Facebook, why your mom can't use Spotify is exactly how all of these Russian bots are like, it's not a conspiracy. It's been proven that this is happening. Is confusing your damn grandparents, believing everything they read and generating this madness. And it's insulting to their age. But at the same time, I don't know.
Who do you think the next president? I'm just going to assume. I don't know about you guys, like how you feel, but if you want to just, because I don't want to like call it, but I'm just going to act like, in the assumptions that I'm seeing right now.
Next wave, like 4 years from now. So what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like I imagine, from what I'm seeing at this very moment, Joe Biden will be our president. Like I think. That's what's
seems like it. It has to be one of those. One of those.
I mean, outside of some kind of somebody getting sued and recounts happening, outside of something flip flopping, not ruling it out, but I'm not confident.
Exactly.
Outside of that, I would say that Biden is probably the kind of the front runner at this point.
Right.
So, but we'll agree with that. Like he's front runner.
To place ourselves in history, the election is yesterday, and nobody knows yet. Because of all of the stuff with the Postal Service, mail-in voting, absentee voting, because of the
I voted
pandemic
3 weeks ago, and it was easy.
Bullshit. It's just all chaotic bullshit.
Oh yeah, but
because here's what's happens. Like whoever loses is going to be
there's going to be fucking like Dan said, there's going to be.
It's going to be so annoying.
Yeah.
For a long time, and it's going to distract everybody, and they're going to slide some more legislation that fucks people out of money. So
it's going to be not fair. They did it wrong. Somebody cheated. Every single thing, no matter who wins, no matter who
memes,
loses.
all of that. It's going to go through the cycle. Like we've been here, man. We've been here before. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, the last 4 years of Trump.
But this is our version of that. But I mean, just study up on history, and this shit happens like all the time. It's just technology is different. And it's in the hands of the people that are unfortunately holding the most power, or the most confused and terrified.
But like,
so how about this? What would you do if we have 4 years of Biden, and then Trump runs again in 4 years? but Trump wins, so we get another 4 years of Trump, and then Biden comes back because he was the only guy that could beat Trump last time. So we get 4 more years of Biden again. Would you put up with that for the next 12 years?
Honestly, that'd be hilarious. Like,
it'd be awesome, but would it be worth it?
No.
The short answer is yes, but then why not?
But also by that time, technology will be good enough that they can actually pull off face off like Nick Cage, John Travolta switcheroo.
So not like
they just write out their terms
like actual in real life 3-dimensional face off.
Yeah. But then they just try to play each other's games for like the weird 4 years just because they're bored with it. Trump's pretending to be Biden for 4 years or vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I want to see that movie, but I also want to write that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did.
Yeah, I think you just did.
That should be the A plot. Okay. So me and the old lady have been saying for a while now that on SNL, one of the next character movies they need to make from an SNL character is Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, because when they're on Weekend Update, that's always the peak of the show.
Yeah,
that could be the A plot of that movie, is Biden and Trump doing a face-off swap.
Yeah,
and how it confuses Eric and Don Jr.
That'd be great. That'd be hilarious.
You have my number probably.
Like, how are you taller and thinner? And he's still got like Joe Biden though still like doesn't change. They fuck up. They can't do the voice right. So he's still like, I'll tell you about a friend I know. His name is Jim. And they're like, well, Dad's never like gone on these long-winded, retarded speeches before. I guess it's him. I guess he's changed. He's turned a corner.
There you go.
He's working the room. He's a little more charming working the room. Like both of them work the fucking room. You know what I mean? But they just work it in different styles. Like Joe Biden's more like, he's more Rat Pack, like kind of like, hey, pinch you on your cheek. Oh, right? Hey. Donald Trump more like, yeah, this fucking guy, I don't know, he gives blowjobs to llamas. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Like he just
Trump's running the room like he's Lenny Bruce opening for some strippers.
Yeah. Like it's literally, honestly, that would be like Lenny Bruce at a corporate gig is what Donald Trump is. Like that's literally like it's just the perfect analogy for him because it's all like bullshit. Like he's not a tough guy. Like he's fucking lame. But I mean, he has money, so he probably like thinks he's like cool as shit like that. But like the second he gets off stage, like no one wants to hang out with Donald Trump. Like he has all these fans, but like they go back and Donald's like, "You guys want to get a pizza?" And it's like, I got
the kids. Like you don't
Even
have the kids. It's like, yeah, but I got to think about having them. And
I'm gonna go think about having them. Maybe
just a lot of chew on right now.
But like, who do you think would be the next
next wave? Okay, are you saying we're going to predict the next 4 years in a loose fashion?
Basically, what I'm just trying to get to is, will we ever have who's the next unqualified pick? Like, will we ever have a President Zuckerberg or President John Stamos? Like, will we ever get to that again? Or have we learned
Rodham Clinton? Or
like have we learned our lesson?
Dennis Rodman.
Y'all discuss Clinton? That in the comments down here.
Y'all discuss that, y'all.
Did you say Dennis Rodman Clinton?
That's even better.
I would
actually, because Rodman would have been probably my answer if I would have thought about it a little longer.
Dennis Rodman, when he wore the wedding dress and was all like, like.
Oh no, Rodman now that he went to North Korea and he's friends with a dictator.
Yeah,
that gives him political clout, like it or not.
No, that is true.
Clout.
That is kind of true.
And he did, those last few seasons, Jordan played with the Bulls. I mean, you look at his stats there. I mean, the dude had assists like a motherfucker, And
Robert Mugabe either just recently died or is going to die. So there's going to be a power vacuum in Zimbabwe soon. And he's on equal footing with that guy, at least.
Yo, do you think that, like, this is, all right, I know this is getting now stupid, but
by the way, guys, sorry, not to digress, but we don't research any of this, so don't take any. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, no, we're just being stupid.
Okay,
I do the New York Times crossword.
Yo, instead of predicting,
I watch Jeopardy. That's it.
This now gets me a better question. Instead of predicting like who's the next 4 years for America, let's branch out. If Kim Jong-un dies, do you think Rodman has a chance to actually take over and like on just to like? Maybe not be the leader, but like he'd be on that table, don't you think? Like Rodman has a chance to like probably get whatever Secretary of Agriculture is to like in their version. Like, don't you? Like he'd be on the cabinet.
Which, by the way, North Korea's Secretary of Agriculture is killing it, just killing it. Like literally.
Yeah. Right.
I mean. Because
the money's got to be really good.
Sister, I think, is the next in line if he kicks the bucket.
Yeah, no, his sister, but like him.
But I don't see them like North Korea in general like respecting a woman just yet because they're still stuck in the 50s. Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
easily.
See that being like a chance for a power grab, like she's a placeholder or something.
Yeah, but like imagine like
she's like Elaine standing in line for George and Kramer. We all know she's not going to be in that line by the end of the episode, but George and Kramer are going to be.
Exactly. Yep. And she's going to miss the show or whatever it is they're waiting on. Or
yeah.
That's such a great that's a good.
And it was her idea in the first place.
Yeah.
We should.
Speak Keith, Larry, David.
All right. So right now, Kim Jong-un's sister is going to be the leader. I'll pencil in Rodman as like Secretary of Foreign Relations. And then,
he would be the ambassador. He would be at the UN.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Consulate Rodman. He's still got his fucking like earrings and everything in.
He would also coach their World Cup team. Like that's the only other time you see North Korea participating in a sport outside of their country. Of what's their sport? Like, brainwashing and murder. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rodman would coach their team.
Yeah.
They would get in the final. They would get in the semifinals, though, which would be nuts. Anyway,
I feel like let's do a draft.
It's like fun. Rodman towering over the entire team, but he's still on the team.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's the goalie. It's like, all right.
The team picture is like a family portrait, and he's dead.
Let's draft world leaders.
Yeah, that looks like that would look like a weird abstract Octomom family portrait. Like, when's the last time anybody thought about that bitch? She could be president. Did she die?
No, I think they got divorced though. Also, like,
I mean, she's pumped out like 8 kids and counting. Last I heard, like that's gotta drain out your life force a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a woman, so I don't know.
I think Schwarzenegger could run Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you gave him the ability, like, to run Russia, I think he could like figure it out.
I don't know. Russia's pretty big. Like, I don't want to give them any kind of like kudos or anything, but not only is it huge, it's like 2 whole countries because you have Russia and then Siberia on top of it.
And then you also have Ukraine, but like, because like, no, I think with Schwarzenegger, he would be able to like kind of like. I feel like he has the tenacity to kind of just work everything.
I don't think he does anymore. I think he's chilling with his little pony and having cigars and drinking whiskey. I think he's enjoying his retirement days, like his old. I think he's done enough. I think he's in that mode. Like, you see him now, he's kind of like a dotting old, like hey, like I don't know if he had to have the hunger.
Like he
Stallone
definitely
on
has
the other
retired dad energy.
Stallone, on the other hand, how old's Stallone right now?
Oh, he's got to be 60 something. Sylvester Stallone, he is 74. Jesus Christ!
Ooh, he better hurry up, man. Yeah, next 4 years, let's put in a small bet on Stallone running for president here next 4 years.
I feel like that would kind of throw in the face of the Demolition Man theory, where Schwarzenegger is going to be president because of the way that the story went in the movie.
Yeah,
like he became governor, and then they changed some laws so he could become president.
Yeah,
like it's like we need him to fulfill the prophecy at least. He's fulfilled 2 of the 3 things.
Here's the thing:
if they're gonna do that, it would have to be either Tom Hardy or Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we made it for like British, people that weren't born here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom Hardy as president would be dope.
Oh yeah, he comes across as really, really smart, along with being a badass.
That whole thing of like you have to be born in the United States to run for president thing makes no sense to me, because it's like all our best companies are run by motherfuckers not from here, because they understand how how shit works. So like they come and they run like a CEO or whatever, but like. I mean, obviously, like, you're not going to hire some guy that's like a Taliban member with a mustache, like a goofy mustache, being like, oh, yeah, no, I'll lead the country. But like, dude, give me an Asian, like, give me a Japanese dude from the country. I'm in. Like, I've seen what Sony can do, like, just with their profits. Like, dude, fix the country. Because if we're at a point right now where we're just like, drain the swamp, and like people are fucking dumb enough to like actually believe that like a non-politician can do a politician thing. Let's just fucking go for broke. Let's get a foreigner to do our shit. Like, let's really start outsourcing America permanently.
There you go.
Like, outsource our president.
Well, we've been doing that with our education and stuff, which brings in a flood of.
Yeah, you open the borders.
Immigrants are our story, and people don't want to believe that, but that's like a real American story. You know what I mean? I think Eddie Van Halen was an American hero, but he was Dutch and he couldn't speak the language, his language. we're shredding your fucking tits off.
Right.
I think America needs to open borders. I think we need to be less confined, and I think we need to be treated like a, I think I'm tired of this whole America, we should be a truck stop. I want people to come in and come out all the time.
That's what we are. We're the truck stop, the tourist stop, and like they wander around and giggle at everything and only leave with corn nuts. It's that truck stop. That's America, right? Like,
but no one lives here.
Yeah, don't you live in California? No. That's like the entryway of the truck stop.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's very much like. Oh, by the way, it's so funny to see fucking tourists still. You're like, what do you like? Well, I think
because LA is like it's not on fire anymore, but it's what's the vibe there? I mean, does it feel weird? Like, is it a noticeable difference?
I haven't heard anything since the riots, so yeah, I'm curious about that too.
No, it's just chill. We're just back. I mean, we're back to kind of just minding our own business, but like, it's just boring. It's Cali vibes, but without Cali, without that sort of like I can do blow tonight like feeling. It's just now very much like
you could, but it's just like it's like sad.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that always like I think of when I'm in LA is like no matter where you look when you're outdoors, a human being will be in your frame of vision. Like, is that still the case at least?
Yeah. It's still overpopulated as shit. And I hate
and not just overpopulated, but people are like out and everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, not so much. I mean, people still do their daily lives, but like, honestly, it's pretty just, it's boring. And I like boring, so I'm good with it.
Yeah.
No, I guess I only asked because here in Independence, Missouri, like, you wouldn't know that anything is any different than normal. It's everybody's out at the grocery store, Walmart, gas station, everywhere.
Oh no, they still like it's still very like no one knows what to do. Like you have some fucking assholes who like it's always there's only two types of people who walk around without their mask. The super rich or the super poor. Like the super rich are like, I'm too rich to wear it, and super poor like I can't afford it, but like everyone else just wears it. So it's either like this person's going to stab me because they're insane, or this person wants to spit on me because I'm lesser than them. But everyone's no one's out. Everyone just kind of just stays home, does their thing. Traffic's light, or as light it fucking can be. It still takes 30 minutes to get home, but it's 10 miles away compared to like an hour and a half. So
there you go.
If you came here from the Tucker Carlson program, we'll continue teaching you kids how to read.
Yeah, this whole layout right now, you've got the Bernie thing. It does look like a weird talking head,
Yeah.
And you've got the red shirt with the Levi on there. You're the capitalist, right? You're the...
Yeah. Let me tell you all
I don't like anybody and don't have a side. I'll take that side just for sake of argument. Sure.
Yeah. I'll be a shithead.
Yeah.
What's smart money? What does smart money mean? Is that a saying that people have that equals to something? What's the smart money? What's the good money?
I think that's a advertising catchphrase designed to make you want to give me your money.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I'm confusing. I always get catchphrases confuses with like sayings. Like I always thought laissez-faire was silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Did that go anywhere right? I was trying to.
It's not, but you know.
Okay. All right. Well, it got to the point where like you get the weed gives you confidence enough, but then your brain's just being like,
oh, 100%. You've seen the last few episodes, right? Yeah. When I try to get a million ideas out and it all comes out in one meep, that's me to a T.
Yeah, no.
So, were we gonna put a picture of Matt down in his corner for this episode, or what? What's the game plan? Yeah, just making sure there wasn't something in a conversation I wasn't there for.
No. I mean, they did bury that hooker out in like Nevada, like somewhere. But that was like that. I mean, that's like public record. You can look that up on like.
Do you guys like Vegas?
Yeah, she was hot before and after the burial.
That's a legit question I have for you guys. Do you like Vegas? I know, Dan, you were married there once, but
I got married in Vegas, so I've got mixed feelings on it, but still positive.
Okay, well, take aside from that, but like, would you go to Vegas again? on your own terms, not like for a family trip with like you. And then like, if you want to go alone, if you want to go with boys, like you set the vacation, it's to Vegas. You have the right amount of money. Like you don't have to worry about like not having enough money to have fun. Like you have enough money to get there, have as much fun as you would like to have and come home safely and not have to worry about like working 16 doubles to catch up. Like, would you do Vegas again?
Absolutely.
Vegas. Cause like, I don't know how to gamble. Also,
I'm not a Vegas guy, but that situation you brought up, like unlimited money, like if we're doing Vegas that way, I will do anywhere. I would do the fucking gulag if that were, you're like, I don't know. Like, you're like, it doesn't matter. That situation you outlined is like you had infinite money for like a weekend and no worries and just had fun. It could be Vegas, it could be anywhere, but I understand what you're saying. I don't like Vegas either. So.
But like,
well, and for me, like I don't like Vegas for the reasons and things that most people like Vegas. Like I barely gamble. Like the gambling for me is like I read a book on blackjack and so the math of it's interesting. Like I don't count cards, but I have one of those like borderline, sponge brains or whatever that can memorize stuff. I like going to Area 51 and checking out what's out there. Reno is a fun, half a day drive. There's some great little tourist stops out in the desert and stuff.
Dan, you're getting confused. Not Nevada. I'm just talking about Vegas only. You don't get to go to the Grand Canyon.
I'm not taking day trips or anything.
You don't get to.
Because usually I'm like that. That's most of the trip, and then just like while I'm here, I'll tour around.
No. Yeah, you don't get that. Like it's just Vegas.
No atomic bomb museum or anything.
No, you're just getting the most thing you get is like the stratosphere, whatever it's called. Like you.
Then I'm still going because I'm a big fan of like trashy and like. Not like bad trashy, but like Vegas trashy, like Sinatra impersonators, like getting married by an Elvis like I did, stuff like that. I love that. That's timeless to me. Like you mentioned, the world's truck stop.
Yeah.
Vegas is like America's truck stop.
Yeah.
Like it's so cheap to go there, and it's kind of like the everyman Disneyland that like you never know what you're gonna see. Like the last time I was there, I literally had fun just taking pictures of stupid people and stupid shit, hashtagging it Vegas Safari on Twitter. Like, I found a woman with no arm that's gambling at 8 a.m. Oh, I found a woman that's got a cigarette on her lip and in her hand. This Bon Jovi cover band is playing before 3 p.m. How did that happen?
How did they?
Not like how did they start playing? Like how did this guy start a Bon Jovi cover band? Like I noticed that all the girls who were dancing on tables all had a Dreamcatcher tattoo on their thigh. Like at first I thought it was like a trend, but then I started wondering, is this human trafficking? Like is that how they brand these people, as a Dreamcatcher tattoo?
Also, I'm pretty sure one of those women dancing on the bar had a colostomy bag. I remember that.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I was holding a napkin over my head in case it pops or anything.
Yeah. They're dragging around oxygen tanks and just like waving. They don't throw panties on the stage. They throw oxygen tanks.
Throw the masks. Yeah.
Getting off their shift and going out and driving off in the school bus because they have to go and get the afternoon pickups.
Yeah.
Popping their bras like the fucking biscuits, the tube.
Gotta pull them out.
Yeah. Shaking them pasties around, fucking taking out an eye.
I'm not a fan of Vegas. I've only been there once, twice on like work things. So it's usually like a weekend of team building exercises and then getting really drunk and then having to get up at like 6 a.m. the next day to sit in a conference to justify going to Vegas.
If you have a reason to go, it's almost no fun.
Yeah.
Like to me, like the nihilism is the fun of it.
Dan, I've never thought about that. I've never looked at it that way because every time I go to Vegas, it's always like.
How many times have you gone?
I've been 3 times. I went once when I was 18, so like it doesn't really count because I couldn't do anything. Like it was my sister's birthday, so like you'd go there and then they'd just be like, right, you can't walk the casino floors after like 8 or 9 or something like that. And then like, I'm also still technically a child in a different city I've never been to. So I can't just like wander you can wander the streets and like the strip and stuff like that. But like, Besides just getting fucking
Pretty
like
dingy out there, yeah.
Yeah, and you're also just getting the only thing that you're getting is just walked into by other fucking people. And then you're like, well, I guess I'll go look at a fountain, make noises, and then, well, now it's 10. I better go home then.
Well, it kind of, I mean, and that sounds like you're at all the tourist traps anyway, like on the strip and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you go to some places like downtown or like, where the locals live, I mean, there's either interesting things like nightlife and like the bars that are like, at home bars, dive bars, but you also find just completely like makes you sad to be another human being knowing that other people live like this parts of town.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's good that those parts of town are there. It's at least a different experience.
And I went when I was 22 or 23 for the World Series of Comedy. And I can't remember, it was like in this shitty hotel. I got food poisoning from a half-cooked chicken cordon bleu. And I had no money. Like I was just broke the entire time. Like you don't have any money. Like all my money was spent in there. Like I remember I sold my Xbox 360 to get there. I was selling everything but my bed. And then the last time I went was when I had a friend come in town, and right before COVID, actually, in February. So like we went there. There was actually like COVID was around. Like we were making jokes about getting COVID while we were like bumping into fucking.
So this is what, like February, January, February?
This is pre-mask. This is like everyone was still fucking doing shit.
Yeah.
And it sucked because like what ended was like I got finessed into going to this fucking guy's house, and my friend just did blow with him all night, and then the guy ordered a hooker, and that was it. Like that's all my Vegas experiences. And I'm like, I understand that like Vegas is for like debauchery and like all that shit, but like I got nothing from it either time. And this time I went with money. It's like last time I couldn't go with money. This time I went with money, and like I had all the accessibility, and it still was like, this stinks.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine being in Vegas with no money. Like you can't take a shit without it costing like a tip
$7
to the guy. Yeah. Like, unless you're a cute girl, I can't imagine. Like, it would just be like being a homeless person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
So I guess just my love of trashy is the only saving grace here.
Why don't you ever go to like New Mexico or Arizona, like Bisbee, Arizona, or like weird out of, instead of Vegas?
Well, that's the thing. That stuff's on the way to Vegas. So, because what you do is it's cheaper to fly to Phoenix, and then you drive the rest of the way.
Oh.
And then you get all that weird like Southwest stuff, like you saw in Breaking Bad, or like Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons and shit.
Meth.
Yeah, exactly. Meth, Roadrunners, weird cars that live in the.
They had meth back then when they were making the Roadrunner cartoons. Yeah. So like that's
yeah. Yeah, they used to give it to kamikaze pilots in World War II. Meth is vintage, bro.
Meth is vintage. I mean, I wouldn't mind going to like. You say Bisbee, Arizona? Bixby? What the fuck is that?
Like tiny towns, like out in the middle of nowhere that they're like kitschy or like unique and like just southwestern desert like weird life. You know what I mean?
No, I would love to do that because like that's kind of like my favorite parts of like California. It's like out of LA, like going east and like getting into like just fucking nothing. Like that shit's so dope to me. I'll try that.
Well, and like with my thing with like trashy and Vegas Safari and stuff, I guess for me a lot of it is like that Route 66 kind of mentality and Route 66 aesthetic. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
How many Betty Boop
for me, it's kind of the two sides of the coin of like if it did still exist and was still brand new, or also just the old beat down, decrepit, disintegrating Route 66 that doesn't exist but has a skeleton still.
How many Betty Boop boxers do you own? That's such a question that only Jason would.
No, I don't buy that shit.
That's the picture you're painting. It's all the way up and down every major highway.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is like those like the place where you buy the Betty Boop boxers. Like there's a local that works there, and that's a shitty job in their town. So they have to go home and like go to a shitty strip bar and go to like a shitty diner and a shitty bar.
Oh,
those are the places that I love. Is where the locals are going. That's their shitty place.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Do as the Romans do.
So you go out and stalk people. Were you trying to recreate like a Natural Born Killers kind of vibe? Were you just on like bladder acid and like mescaline and speed and snake venom?
No, mostly just weed and some mushrooms. But that's beside the point, honestly.
I
wasn't trying to create a Natural Born Killers vibe, but I'm not going to say it didn't happen once or twice. I would say it's probably more accurate to call it a Reno 911 vibe. is about where I'm at. Actually, Reno 911 is like I've heard people like talk about how if they were in a metal band in the 80s and they saw This Is Spinal Tap, like 50% of the people would like laugh, but the other half would think it was just a regular ass documentary about life on the road.
Yeah,
like Reno 911 is like that for me, where it's like that's my experience going to Vegas, going to Reno, going to those desert towns and stuff.
Yeah, is
like. It's pretty much like that. Like if real life people had blurred out faces, it would be shit like that.
That's hilarious.
Like, I would love to live my life as Lieutenant Dangle. No, I was just leaving that there so when he washes his back, you'll have a little pleasant little thing for him. I love you, Matt.
I think we leave Matt too much. I think we don't lean on Matt enough. I think he's useless and he's just a cog in the system, and we can pull him out and.
Cogs in this system.
He's modular. Yeah, we're gonna play some other
shit. Asshole. Fuck you, Matt.
Or half the price.
Yeah, you know what? Pay cut. You're getting docked this week.
Yeah,
that shit's gonna be
space docked.
Yeah, fuck these two. Yeah, Team Matt. Jason, Photoshop Team Matt in my T-shirt. Team Matt.
I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, no. Put that on there too. As long as Team Matt's on there, I don't care what other words are on there.
No, that's great. No, just like put that
Team Matt Nambla.
Yeah. No. It's just got the word. Like, dude, as long as it's got that, I'm great.
Why did Dan buy that T-shirt?
It's that Route 66 life. It's that special place like down in Florida where all the special weird diddlers have to live.
Yeah, I think that's Florida.
A place like that I want to go in, and I almost own property there. The Salton Sea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Out in California.
The Salton Sea?
Yeah, it's like east of LA. Okay. And have you ever seen that documentary about it?
No.
So back in the day, it was like the 50s, 60s. They diverted water from somewhere in Colorado and just made this giant lake out in the middle of Southern California.
Yeah, like an inland sea kind of a thing.
Yeah. But they didn't know shit about irrigation, like none of it. It's just a bowl that over the years got so salty. Like the first few years, people were buying real estate. Like that was going to be the next Palm Springs, right? That was going to be, right? So my wife's grandparents had land there. They were Hungarian, immigrants. And probably in the 50s, 60s, they thought it was a good idea to drop like 10 large on a chunk of land. But nowadays, a lot of like people who can't get work or from prisons or like just want to not be involved with any society at all are living out there in trailers. And the sea itself is so salty and the fish reproduce so much that every year it's waves of dead fish washing ashore.
So this is like where Cousin Eddie lives?
Yeah.
So
cooking chicken on the rocks.
And yeah, there's just like meth and drugs. It's nuts. Nuts.
So it like looks like the Road Warrior type thing.
So if you wanted like that desert, like that, like that's probably where that leads to. If you keep going down that path, it's going to end in the Salton Sea, I bet.
So okay. I looked up this thing and the lake's salinity, which is, I guess, like as much like the
salt. Because they didn't know any better because the ground like brought up all that salt and then like, yeah.
It's 56 grams per liter and it's greater than the Pacific Ocean, which is 35 grams per liter.
Yeah.
And it said that Palm Springs Life magazine summarized Salton Sea as the biggest environmental disaster in California history.
Wow. And that's California.
Number one, goat.
It just looks like it's just nothing but like shit, dude. Wow. Yeah.
But back in the day, in the 60s, it was all sold like, hey, come have this on sea. And people like jet skiing and like, pretty white chicks on jets, on not jet ski, water skiing. And, that old footage of that, lifestyle, right? That was the
holy shit.
Ton of people moved there and then shit went south and then everyone the fuck out.
Yeah,
it's like buying a condo at like Chernobyl or something. Like it's like
well, just start a Chernobyl Airbnb then.
Why not?
Like, if you have property out there, shit, yeah, throw a tiny house or a trailer or two on there, and
dude, crazy old
theme them out. And
why aren't crazy wild artists just like squatting there? Like, why aren't malls turning into weird ass like meccas of weird people?
Yeah, I was just
Burning Man year round.
Literally.
Yeah.
Boys, I feel bad because I don't have anything to bring to the table. I thought we would be able to be political enough, and then it turns out we all did not graduate high school.
Like I read about that shit a lot.
I showed up, and so then I did graduate high school.
Do you guys know any diddlers? Did you guys know any kid touchers in your life? I didn't know a kid. Oh, this is a question. This is a story too. Do you guys know any murderers?
Yes.
Okay. I know.
Not personally, but I have hung out with.
Oh, like how old were you?
25, 24, 25.
So I grew up in high school. Yeah.
No, the OJ happened when I was in middle school, but
I was still hanging out with OJ at that time.
I'd probably hang out with Juice. Talk about that. Talk about Naked Gun and how he did that one scene where he falls off the boat.
Yeah,
that's a good scene.
I knew him. I knew a kid. So we went to we've been in grade school together, and so we went from grade school on. We graduated high school together and stuff like that. I didn't wasn't close with him, but we would see each other throughout the day. But he was a weird kid. He was one of those kids that would wear sweatpants. And I'm talking about the fleece sweatpants, but the actual sad dad sweatpants.
Cotton sweatpants with the cinching around the ankles.
Yeah. And then
the elastic on the ankles.
I'm actually wearing some like that right now.
Yeah.
I wore them to bed last night, but yeah.
But you're also not a 16-year-old kid in high school. This
I wear them because if I shit the bed, it's going to be contained in the pant leg by the elastic.
I mean, physically, no, I'm not. But mentally, I mean, come on, I'm not far off here.
So he was just this weird kid. This is just this weird, he didn't give a fuck about school. He smelled. You can tell something was kind of off with him, but
there's always one, it seems in every grade.
Yeah, but and you're just whatever. It's just some weirdo. But he knew computers, so you're just he's probably just autistic or some shit like that. He could fucking build computer motherboards and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So we graduate. He still stays in the hometown. 3 years later, it turns out he's working at a Casey's and he's just hanging out, making the pizzas, doing all that stuff. It turns out he's 19, or no, it was 3 years after that, so 21, 22. He's hanging out with 16-year-old girls, and it's already sketchy. And then he's buying them booze and stuff like that, and so they're still kind of kids. So 16-year-old girls in the Midwest, they're now by the creek and stuff like that. And apparently he came up on one and just he scared the prosecutors that he scared her and she fell back and smashed her head on the rock, and he saw her bleeding out and dying, so he mercifully took the rock and kept smashing her head in. And then 2 days later he went to another girl's house and gutted her while she was sleeping, but she lived. But it was the only reason I'm bringing up this story and you're probably gonna have to edit it all out, Jason, is because of this. Afterwards, people were like, "Oh my god! Like I couldn't see this coming. Like this is insane. Like I couldn't believe he'd do it." And I was the only person that was like, "I saw this coming so far away," because when we were in middle school, our middle school gave you assigned seating. I don't know why. It was the only time for lunch you got assigned lunch seating. You couldn't hang out with your friends.
My daughter's school's doing that. And I'm like,
that's weird. It's not normal because, like, I understand you want to mingle and like you want to have like different connections with people. By all means, do that. But they assigned seat people, and you're not like, it's just weird. And what he would do, he would have money for lunch, but they would have sandwiches you can make, like peanut butter sandwiches, and you could make just peanut butter sandwich, whatever. So like you can have food. Next to the condiment station. So he would put peanut butter on the sandwich, ketchup, mayonnaise, pickles, mustard. And I'm talking about thickness, major thickness of all these ingredients. And he would just eat it in front of you. And we were like, dude, please stop. Like people would gag. Like one girl like vomited. Like she was just like, fuck this. And I think that was actually like why we stopped doing assigned lunch seating. And like people would be like, this is fucking like, dude, stop. But he would laugh. And like you could see in his eyes, he got off on like how everyone was like so freaked out and like just disgusted by it. And I was like, I saw that when I was 12. I knew he was bad news. I knew he was suspect so fucking hard. And but it just that people were just like, I couldn't see it coming.
100%. If they would have seen that, they would have changed their tune. That's why I'm suspect of you mayonnaise loving motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
You're like quarter serial killer.
If you're not getting Miracle Whip, what are you doing with mayonnaise? Like, is it regular ass mayonnaise? Like, if I go to this grocery store and I'm seeing someone pull mayonnaise off the shelf when Miracle Whip is there,
no. Miracle Whip's the same thing, man. I hate mayonnaise so hard.
As somebody that also hates mayonnaise really hard, Miracle Whip's like worse because it's like the Cool Whip of mayonnaise.
You guys are insane. No, it's got tang. It's got a little tang. It's got a little kick to it. That's why what makes it better than mayonnaise. And I'm not talking about like, my mayonnaise is a thin layer. It's like, do you remember in Goodfellas when Paulie was cutting the garlic with a razor blade? That is the kind of thinness I'm talking about of mayonnaise on what I go with. I don't like anything because I also am a fan. If I take a bite and I get an explosion of mayonnaise, I will gag. That is not fun for me at all.
Here's the move. Try it without mayonnaise sometimes, and then eventually you'll be like, I don't miss mayonnaise. And then you think about mayonnaise, and you're going to hate mayonnaise.
Like, again, as somebody that hates mayonnaise, like if it's that thin, mayonnaise isn't like a pow flavor. Like, are you going to miss it if it's not there? Like, is it like the texture that it creates? Is it because it moistens the bread? Surely it's not the flavor.
I like the taste, especially like on a burger, like a mayonnaise with like a ketchup and get that taste. Like I like that a lot. But like I'm not gonna go plain mayonnaise on a sandwich. That's
okay, well, I mean I can see as an additive like to your ketchup.
Yeah, I'm not talking about plain mayonnaise.
No, I'm talking about mustard ketchup mashup.
Fine, but like I it's not good enough. Like I feel like you gotta cut the ketchup and mustard. Like it's missing something.
I love mustard. The spicier, the better. Like when my nostrils like catch on fire, I'm like, this is pretty good mustard. You know what I mean? I'm that asshole. So
I don't like ketchup or mustard either. But if mustard's in play, yeah, it's got to be like bitter, gross mustard.
It's got to be crunchy.
Yeah,
it's got to be
crunchy mustard. That's our next candidates. In the next 40 years, it's going to be fucking just boring ass condiments that everybody's just like. I mean, I guess it's okay. It's on there. I don't, I'm not going to make you like go take it off in the back, I'll eat around it. That's going to be our next candidate.
Yeah. And I'll just say, make America great again. Crunchy mustard.
Oh God. Get that crunchy ass mustard.
All right, who do you get? Okay, prediction. Do you think? If you keep refreshing, nothing's happening. We're not going to go for a while, and it's going to be contested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's because even if it goes the other way in a weird way, it's going to be contested either way. So
yeah.
So moral of the story is, folks, don't watch this episode because we also have no answers. Like if you're trying to find out who won.
But thanks for hanging out. That's all this is. Yeah. Just hang out, have fun. Silly goose time. Try to forget about it.
If you're coming to us for answers, what's wrong with you, first of all?
Yeah.
Dan's got a solid point right there. What is wrong with you?
Seriously.
Matt. I know you're watching Matt. Even though you have one person on Team Matt, you still have two people on not Team Matt.
I tried.
We're going to change the team name, obviously, but not Team Matt is we're going with for the season. And we have the Bears next week. What if that's what the Washington...
Brandon, what if we're on the wrong side of this? You know, there was like a team Edward and team Werewolf Boy, right?
Wait. Tell me more about this Bears game.
Oh, yeah. So me and Jason got signed up.
Bears versus the Twigs.
The Bears. That's a good joke, Dan.
I don't actually care about the story. That was just set up for that line.
We should do that on another Versus episode. Like, which is better? Like pros and cons of
gay sex or regular sex? Dan, you have the floor.
Well, you don't get otters with straight sex. That's my whole platform here. Otters is like the best of both worlds. Manly men and smooth women all in one package with a huge dick.
Why do gay people get all the best terms? We don't. And by we, I'm a straight, almost like heterosexual person, obviously. But no, why does gay culture get they get the twinks, the bears, the otters, stuff like that? And like, what do like straight people get? You know, we're not creative.
Bro.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, with bros. I got a blank last night. And like, I fucked a twink last night. Sounds a lot cooler than I fucked a chick last night. If you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean,
there's code words right there.
I mean, there's anything from like a thought to a hood rat to a slam piece to a airhead to a bimbo.
Yeah, but those are all the same thing. Like
no, not at all. Not at all.
No, they have different. Yeah,
thoughts and hood rats. You know, that's way different than your bimbos and your Barbie dolls.
You're gonna learn some words today.
Yeah,
we're learning words. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fucking learn shit.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get Brennan learning a word. Oh man.
Yeah, I just found out that we had a president today. I don't want to learn something. I was gonna have this joke. I was gonna post this joke. If Joe Biden wins, this will be the first time in 12 years we don't have an African president. And I think we should start the because it would be hilarious if Trump was like, I guess if the Trump was from Africa and like he lied on his birth certificates and he was just putting it on Obama to like push the blame off him.
Oh, he was a birther. Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
I just think of I'm just glad that glad to see Fire Marshal Bill like back in the scene, like Joe Biden, like
Jim Carrey on SNL. I was loving Alec Baldwin, but Jim Carrey, man, that was Fire Marshal Bill.
But then you look at real Biden, and you're like, oh shit,
Fire Marshal Bill.
Fire Marshal Bill is like Joe Biden's like uncle. Like it's like they're related.
Yeah. Like personally, I still miss The Onion, theonion.com and their Diamond Joe persona for Joe Biden, where he's, washing his Trans Am on the White House lawn and stuff like that.
Right.
Trying to get Barack to bring him back nunchucks from Japan. But like last season SNL for one episode, Woody Harrelson played Joe Biden. I thought that was pretty solid.
Yeah. Nice. That's pretty dope.
So
can we have actors play the president? Like actually, can we literally just have Alec Baldwin just play Trump? Can we elect that as a person?
Yeah, I'm in.
Like Alec Baldwin.
What's the difference of what's happening now, though? That'd be my argument. They are actors,
I mean, transparency, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
being
At least we know we're in.
I mean, like, I would vote for President Keanu.
Absolutely. Under President Reeves?
Yeah, go John Wick on not Osama bin Laden, whoever's the current Osama bin Laden. Don't write that in the comments. I don't want to hear. I don't care.
Hillary Rodham.
That was rhetorical.
Is Muammar Gaddafi still a thing? Is he still a thing? Did he die? Who was he? What was his name? Was he allegedly?
Dun,
We'll
dun.
talk fair, Dan. You got some secrets I need to know right now.
Actually, I would love to have a conspiracy themed episode someday.
I love that too. I love conspiracies.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like things like Trump stuff. It could just be like old school stupid stuff, like
silly though. Like we can go like ridiculous with it. Yeah,
like JFK stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
let's wrap up. I got nothing.